I make a distinction between a very teacher-centered way of education versus a student-centered or a learner-oriented education. And I have grown up in an environment where the teacher was the center of education. If I think of my school, if I think of my engineering classes, this very learned person walks into the class. He knows a lot about a math problem or about thermodynamics. He comes and tells us, he is full of knowledge, and we are at this end trying to desperately take down as notes, trying to understand what he is talking about, and then the bell rings and 1 hour or 90 minutes is over and he walks away out of the class and we are simply in awe. But if you look at that view, if you look at that perspective, it is so much focused on the teacher and the content that he is talking about or that she is trying to bring to the class. Now, I spent my first 7 years in the industry as a practitioner, as a consultant before I became a teacher. So, first time when I walked into a class, I was very confident because I have been a consultant. So, I had beautiful slides and I had lots and lots of content. And I had addressed crowds, I had given a lot of good presentations, received a lot of good feedback. So, I was sure that I will actually max it in the class. And I did. I think in the first 3 or 4 years of me as a teacher, I was constantly making presentations in class. I was consumed by the beauty and structure of my slides. I was very happy about the content that I was bringing to the class. Till one day I realized that I have never thought about whether what I am communicating, how is it being understood by the other side. And I am a little embarrassed to tell you that this realization came to me probably after being a teacher for 4 or 5 years. And then I realized that teaching is really not about myself. Teaching is really not about the content I bring in, but it is going to the other side and trying to understand how much of what I am communicating is actually making an impact on the student. I can bring in a lot of content. I can be an expert in a subject, but the student sitting on the other end, is he or she picking that up? And that's what I talk and that's what I call as the demand-centered or the learning view of education. Today, given that there is so much of content available all over the world and from very, very credible sources, I think content is no longer the king. We have to redefine our roles as saying that there is information and knowledge available. My role is to ensure that a student is actually learning or absorbing what is out there, which obviously means that I need to understand how someone learns. I need to fundamentally understand why is the person sitting there in class. Is it some kind of compulsion because he or she wants a job at the end of this course? Is it some kind of compulsion because his or her parents have asked them to be in a management school or an engineering school? And then you realize how difficult it will be for this person to actually learn, especially if the topic seems to be very boring and out of the world and he or she has no relation to that. So, at some level probably we are saying that this is for the first time we are thinking deeper about our customer, about our client, which is our student in some sense. And we are removing the focus from the content and the teacher and trying to understand what are those drivers of learning. And we are being helped because our understanding of the brain purely in terms of research, purely in terms of medical science and biology has improved over the last 10-15 years. So, we are gradually trying to understand how people are learning. And there are also a lot of research that is happening around pedagogy, around teaching, to figure out that what is it that makes learning easier for the student, what is it that makes learning effective for the students.